So, I mean, what about, one of the things that was interesting, I thought, about the release about the 1 million trips was the stats about what were the most popular bus routes. You know, and I mean, outside of it, kind of obvious, a lot of them generated from central London. You know, what is that, that use of contactless, what does that tell us about customer behavior?
The most important thing is that contactless for us is a pan-European initiative. We have 27 million cards across the UK, and the switching on of the Transport for London bus network is incredibly important, but that there is utility across the whole of the UK is even more important for us. We're really pleased that all 8,500 buses have seen a contactless transaction, many contactless transactions every day now, but also that it works in those really high volume locations such as Piccadilly Circus, Victoria, where there's a real need for speed and ease and convenience. Consumers are now trusting to use their contactless card to hop on the bus and pay. And
also, I mean, tourists who might not have a Oyster card to hand as well, as I'm assuming.
Yeah, the whole idea of having a global technology is that anyone with a Visa contactless card can have that card operate in different cities. And so right now you could have your UK issued contactless card and use it on the buses in Wrocław, in Poland, to travel on a bus there, not only in London, but in other cities across Europe.
Yeah, that was actually my next question about, you know, how this is used sort of on a pan-European, you know, I mean, Shashi, do you work with other metropolitan areas in Europe to use this technology in Paris, and you mentioned Poland and Spain, and, you know, how is that project going?
Well, you know, one of the most significant barriers to entry into public transport for a new customer is the need to figure out its ticketing system. And every city has a unique ticketing system. It's got a unique fares policy, it's got a unique ticketing system, it's got something like an Oyster card or a paper ticket that customers need to get acquainted with. And what we're trying to do here is to take away that initial burden of having to learn the fare system and to equip yourself for travel. So if you have a contactless card in your pocket, you can just get going because the Visa sign is available on the gates or on the buses, and you can tap your card and go. What we hope, and what we're working with other cities on, is that other cities adopt this method of payment as well. And so customers traveling from London to other cities across Europe have the same convenience that customers from Europe will have in London. There's been a long initiative around interoperability of ticketing medium across the UK and across Europe and so on. In my mind, that's a dead end because interoperability exists today. You don't pay, you know, you pay for buying petrol across Europe in exactly the same manner. Why does paying for public transport have to be any different?
Yeah. I mean, it's very good to use Visa is recognized Europe-wide globally, so you might as well take the easy route and use that network.
It's been my ambition with Shashi since 2005 to put Visa inside the transit network, and I know it's been the ambition of Transport for London to do the same. It's a huge infrastructure project to get contactless cards and contactless terminals in all of the places that you would expect to use your card today, and even more difficult in the transit network where speed is of the utmost essence. And I remember working with Shashi, and our target was to get to 200 milliseconds for every contactless transaction. And 5 years ago, it was at 500 milliseconds. So there's been a real battle for us to speed up the Visa contactless payment. And we're at the point now that that infrastructure project has landed. So after 6 years of hard work, we now have 180,000 terminals across the UK, 8,500 of course on the bus network. We have 27 million contactless cards, but by the end of the year we should see that up to 35 million Visa contactless cards here in the UK. Big infrastructure project, but the rewards are the rewards of any network effect, where there's more utility for the cardholder the more places that it can be used. And of course, for Shashi, the fact that there are now 27 million Visa cardholders that can travel on the network and take out cash payments is, again, part of that network effect.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned earlier about, you know, moving into retail like M&S, and of course, you know, transport almost uses that gateway for customers to use contactless.
It's the highest use case, and Shashi, I'll take away the modesty for him. Transport for London is recognised as the preeminent transit authority in the world, and for them to be able to deploy contactless technology in this way, I know that many other transit authorities around Europe and the rest of the world will be looking to this as a use case. The fact that we've now had 1 million transactions is proof of the use case. The anecdotal feedback from consumers has been tremendous, and of course we're now digging into the cash payments that are so costly for Transport for London.
Excellent. Thank you both. Marc, Shashi, thank you very much.